Alright, so now we are going to do a review of everything we have learned so far, okay, from today. So we are going to start with our domain and range. Alright, so remember, our domain is left to right, okay? So we start at our leftmost point, which you should notice is an arrow, okay? So remember, when we have an arrow at our leftmost point, that's negative infinity, all right? And then we're going to follow our graph to our rightmost point, which is another arrow. Therefore, it's going to be positive infinity. And remember, I put parentheses around those because I can't actually graph positive and negative infinity, okay? I can't place that point on my graph. And then for my range is bottom, oops, sorry guys, to top. So we start at our bottommost point, which, if you see, are arrows. So our bottommost point is going to be negative infinity, and then we're going to go up on our graph until we hit our topmost point, and we're looking at our y value, and our y value is 0. And since I was able to actually make that point on the graph, I'm going to put a bracket around it, okay? All right, also I will only be doing one of each type of problem. So when this video is finished, you're going to go back and solve the rest of them, okay? All right, so for number 3, because again I'm skipping, we need to evaluate f of x equals 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 when we have f of 3. Okay, so remember that this is our x. So I'm going to substitute this 3 everywhere I see an x. So it's going to be 2 times 3 squared plus 5 times 3 plus 3. Okay? So this is going to become 2 times 9, because remember, the squared goes with the 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then 5 times 3 is 15 plus 3. Okay? And then 2 times 9 is 18. I'm going to move it right here. And then 15 plus 3 is 18. 18 plus 18 will give me 36. And that's your answer. Okay? Alright, so you guys are going to try number 4. In the meantime, I'm going to continue on. Alright? So for number 5, this time it says evaluate f of x equals 2x plus 3 when f of x equals 9. So this means that I'm going to set this piece equal to this piece. Okay? So 2x plus 3 equals 9. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides to get 2x equals 6. Divide by 2, and x will equal 3. Okay? Alrighty. And so 1 through 6 were on our first quiz that we took. Alright? So now we're going to go on to our next material, which was all about slope. So if you remember, when we're given slope, or when we're given a graph and told to find our slope, I am going to darken the points that they give us. And remember, slope is rise over run. So I'm going to go up 1 and to the right. So up 1 and then to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then our slope, which is m, we remember that because our slope is m, it's going to be a rise, which was 1, over our run, which was 6. And so that's my answer. Okay? Alrighty. So you guys should now try 2 through 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. If you have any questions on those, rewatch the video. And once you finish that, we will continue on with the next page. Alright, So continuing on to the next page. Okay. We need to find the slope of the line through our pair of points. So we are looking for slope. And remember, when we are given a pair of points, our formula is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that's our slope, okay? All right. So when we do it from a pair of points, it's going to be negative 11 minus 11 over 3 minus 16. Because remember, this is my x1 and my y1, x2 and y2, and that's where I got those numbers, okay? So negative 11 minus 11 is going to give me negative 22, and then 3 minus 16 is going to give me negative 13, and since I have a negative negative, it's going to be positive positive. And that's going to be your answer. Okay, for number 11, find the slope of each line. Well, this line is in slope-intercept form. Therefore, my slope is just the number right in front of my x. And since there is a negative in front of my x, this is the same thing as saying negative 1x plus 5. So then what's that number right in front of my x? Good, it's a negative 1. So then my slope is negative 1. All right. So next, we are going to be writing the slope-intercept form of the equation, or of the equation of each line, and we are given our slope and our y-intercept. So this will be pretty easy because remember, our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where my slope is my m and my y-intercept is my b. So here I'm going to have y equals m, which is 0, times x, and then plus my b, which is 2. And then we can simplify this to y equals 2. I forgot to box my answer on the previous one. There we go. Okay. And so now you guys can try 14. Okay. And now we're going to do 16. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. So in order to write the equation, I need an m, which is slope, and a b, which is my y-intercept. Y-intercept is always easier because it's where the graph crosses the y-axis, and it crosses right here at 4. Okay, and now I need to find my slope, so I need to pick another pretty point, and pretty points are lines that go directly through the little t, like that one did. Okay, so that one's not perfect. No, here we go. This one's pretty perfect. Okay, so then we're just going to do our rise over our run again. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1, 2, 3. So then my slope is going to be 4 over 3. Sorry. Okay. So now I can write my equation, y equals, and we can follow this equation, m, which is 4/3, x, and plus my b, which is 4. Okay? Alrighty. So now you guys try 10, 12, 14, and 16, and then we're going to move on to the next page. So for our next page, we need to sketch a graph of each line. So remember, when we're sketching a graph and we're given slope-intercept form, we're going to graph our y-intercept first. So my y-intercept is -5, because remember, that's your b. Okay? And then we are given our slope of -9 over 2. Now for our slope, I'm going to write this out, -9 over 2. This negative can be assigned to either the 9 or the 2. Now since I can't really go down 9 without drawing a bigger graph, for this one I'm going to say that the negative goes with the 2. So I can go up 9 and to the left 2, okay, because these are the exact same thing, okay? So I'm going to go up 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and to the left 2. And then you can draw your graph. And I'm sorry I didn't grab a ruler this time. Okay. If you want to make sure that you're right, start at your leftmost point and make your triangle. So we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and to the right 2, which is the same thing as this. Okay? And that's why we're able to swap it like that, because it's the exact same thing. Okay? For 19, we can do it one of 2 ways. We can do it the way that we learned today, and since I think that way is easier, let's do that. Okay? Alright, so we are going to cover up our y, and so we get 2x equals negative 10. So we would divide by 2, and x equals negative 5. And then we cover up our x, and negative 5y equals negative 10. Divide by negative 5 on both sides, and y equals positive 2. And we can go ahead and plot those. So positive 2, negative 5, and there we go. Okay. For number 20, you will get x equals negative 8. If you notice, there's not a negative 8 on your graph, so instead you are going to have to change it into slope-intercept form by subtracting x on both sides. So let me set this one up for you. So we have x plus 4, y equals negative 8. So we would need to subtract x from both sides. Our x's will cancel. We'll bring down our 4y, our equal sign, our negative 8, and our negative x. Then we'll divide by 4 by everything. My 4's are going to cancel, so I'll get y equals negative 8 divided by 4 gives me negative 2. This doesn't simplify, so negative 1/4 x. Okay, so now you can plot this just like the way we did up here. Okay? Alright, so you do 18 and you finish plotting 20, and I'm going to move on to the next page. You can pause this video while I do this. Okay. Alrighty. So now it's kind of hard to see, so I want you to make sure you're paying attention on your own paper. This one wants us to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. So I'm going to draw the lines in a different color to make sure you can see where the line is. Okay? And I'll do the same on this one. Okay. So since 21 is a vertical line, is that going to be my x or my y? Hopefully you said it's going to be x. And then you're just going to count 1, 2, 3. So your equation is x equals 3. And then you'll do the same thing for 22, just recognizing that it's a horizontal line. Okay? And now we're going to sketch the graph of each line. So this is y equals 5. So since it's y, it's going to be a horizontal line. Remember, we did this yesterday. And so you're going to count up to y equals 5, and then you're just going to draw your horizontal line. Okay? So you tried 22 and 24, and I'm going to move on to the next page. Alright, so 25 through 29 are leading you up for what we learned about today. So we start by graphing our x and y intercept. So these are pretty easy. So our x-intercept is x equals 2. So you would plot it here because that's where it crosses the x-axis. And our y-intercept is 3. So you would plot it here and then connect your points. And then for 27, our x-intercept is 1. And our y-intercept is -2. Connect your dots with your arrows. Whoops. And then for 29, x-intercept of 2, y-intercept of -1. Connect your dots. Okay. And then 30 is what we learned about today, where we cover up our y to get x equals 4, and then cover up our x to get 2y equals 4. Okay, I'm going to let you guys try 26, 28, and 30. And then I'm going to do 31. Okay, so remember we're going to cover up our we're going to cover up our y for x equals 25. Oh no, but there isn't a 25 on here, so we can't do this method. This is when you know which method you have to use. So x minus 5y equals 25. So we need to subtract x from both sides. So -5y equals 25 minus x. Then divide by -5. So y will equal -5 plus 1/5 x. Okay, so we can plot -5 because that is our y-intercept, because b equals -5, and then we can go up 1 and to the right 5. Up 1 to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can also go down 1 to the left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can draw our line. Okay. 32, you can do it the way that we did it today. 32 is pretty easy. And then 33, we can also do it the way we did today. So cover up your y to get 2x equals 20. I think I lied, but that's okay. You can definitely do 34 the way we did it today, because then you get x equals 10, which we can't plot. So instead, 2x plus 5y equals 20, and that's okay because you guys have trouble with this, so I'm glad I'm getting to go over it. So subtract 2x from both sides, and you get 5y equals 20 minus 2x, and then you divide everything by 5. So y equals 20 divided by 5 gives me 4 minus 2 over 5x. Okay, so we would plot 4 because that is our y-intercept, and then we would go down 2, 1, 2 to the right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can also go up 2, 1, 2 to the left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, you guys finish up. Okay, when you're done, you can turn this in. Okay, make sure you turn this in fully completed.